Huge. Can I become him or no?
What do you mean? You can become a hunter, you can become a warlock, or you can become a titan. I'm a titan. I think the titans are more durable. Uh, the hunter is more like a fast-paced guy, and the warlock is just like whatever goes. But I would be a hunter, or not a hunter, but a titan. That's just my own opinion.
Can you tell me what are they are? Like, can you tell me what's the
Titans
difference of all of them?
are the hunter is more quickly. It's like more quick, but less armor, so you get shot down faster. The warlock is a medium in between both. Has all the good power riffs on it, but the uh, the fucking shit. The the Titan has this smash where it jumps up in the air, has a void bubble
Hmm.
where you can have a little bubble where nothing penetrates the bubble, and then it also has a flaming hammer like Thor's. So
Really? I didn't know that, man.
uh,
And what does the hunter do and all the other ones do? What do they do?
I don't know. I'm not really familiar with them. I haven't played them in a long.
Can I
But
switch characters like them
yeah, you have
or
three. You
no?
have three characters you can make. So just make one of three, one of each. Just depends on which one you like the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Fucking Batmobile looks retarded, to be honest.
Huh?
On GTA, the
Yeah.
Batmobile?
You got the Batmobile on
Looks.
GTA?
No, I think it's retarded. I saw what it looks like.
Huh. Driving down the road in a Batmobile. What the fuck?
To be honest, I felt bad for Fluffy.
Yeah, she needs to learn that nice people don't always come. You know, it doesn't matter how long she's known a guy or whatever. If that guy's not gonna treat her with respect, like a woman should be treated. You know what, Gato? I found myself today for the first time disrespecting a woman, and I had to apologize. I really did.
You disrespected a female?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And just had to apologize. You know. So I mean, it was
But
like,
how did you disrespected her?
well, I asked. We were talk. It was in a kind of a weird conversation, but
Hmm.
the conversation ended up going into sexual stuff, and I said, "What do you like? Do you like big dicks, like thick dicks, and all that?" And she just like, I don't feel comfortable answering that, and I was like, "No, hold up." I was like, "I gotta apologize to you." I said, that wasn't right of me, you know. She ended up deleting me, but I felt bad. I was in the wrong, but
Yeah.
you
I mean,
don't.
you weren't thinking right.
No, I wasn't, but at the same time, if it was my sister, I would beat the shit out of him. Honestly, I'd beat the shit out of me. Honestly, it's not right to talk to a woman that way. Oh, come the fuck on. Fuzzy cheese.
I'm not like Fluffy because I felt bad.
Yeah.
Would you still be up if I put my game on rest mode?
Yeah. I probably got a bed, but I mean, I'll be up tomorrow night. You gonna be up tomorrow night?
No. I
Oh,
mean,
you're
I
not?
can, but I'm not. I can though, but I mean, that's gonna be boring waiting for you all day, you know, just for you to come back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking play. I mean, I got friends that have the game. I mean, I got Public Enemy and some other friends that I have on here.
Yeah, well, just give me a call. I'll try to stay up.
I'll put it on fucking on passage mode. If you end up like sleeping, I'll call you. I try to call you, or
Alright.
I'll text you. I'll be like, hey, bro, it's me.
Alright.
Hold up, I want to see who has this game, Destiny. I know a couple of my friends have this. Hmm. I got 16 friends that have this game. Wow.
There you go. Come on, man. Thanks for helping me get all this stuff set up, Gato.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. You know, like that's what friends are for, man.
Yeah.
I'm a good friend, man. I like to be really loyal towards a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
Just don't
good.
like taking advantage of.
That's the same with me, man. Honestly, it is. It's the same with me. Sometimes I get taken advantage of. That's why I felt so bad about that fucking girl, man. You know, I mean, shit. I hadn't known her for very long, but I was
Mhm.
honestly, this is why I did it, and I just found out why. I talked to my mother about it. I talked to my mother about everything, and she said that since the doctors have put me on CBD oil, which is actually hemp oil, for my brain injury, it also
Mhm.
creates more testosterone in the body, so it creates more sex drive. And she's like, you need to just watch it, because, you know, I was thinking to myself, man, I could get in some serious trouble doing that, you know? Honestly, I just, you know, I don't
Mhm.
want anything to do with it.
You were just weren't thinking in the right of the mind when you were,
Yeah,
you know, doing all that.
but it's the first time I've ever done something like that. Hopefully.
Yeah, don't worry, bro.
Yeah. I still take full responsibility for it, but god damn, dude.
Don't let your enemy take this without a fight. It's all or nothing. You're defeated. Fight again. Persistence is key.
Oh, I had a terrible game that game.
But I'm
I
sorry.
lost by 4,
Not this
but
time.
still. Gato, you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I do.
How do I get on? How do I get on there and check it out?
You go to your YouTube. Your YouTube. I already subscribed myself, and I subscribed you back.
Okay.
Uh, you just go to look for your subscribers, the ones you subscribed, and you see videos of there. of my shit on there.
Ark Survival? Is that you?
Yeah, that's mine. That was a video that I did on Ark.
Okay.
Yeah, I got bored, so I commented on my own video.
You got some good, sick music, man.
Yeah.
What do you got? Like you're gonna whip somebody? You're torturing someone.
Yeah.
How is that?
That's one of our gay friends named Coco.
Oh, it's gay.
Yeah, he's gay.
Yeah.
Coco already knows what's up, man. Once you go brown, you always come around, dog. Okay, Cholo wants to go too, dog. $20, 20 berries, some 20 bucks. Alright. Watch your hands. Keep your
Oh my
hands
God, dude!
fellas.
Come on.
Go ahead, go. Put it dentro. God damn it. Yeah, magnificent.
You're fucking torturing this dude.
Motherfucker, let me go. I swear I'm gonna fucking make this shit out of you, dog. I'll fucking rape you. Here's a long fucking fall. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, okay, motherfucker. I'm gonna catch you. Oh, shit. God damn.
Zombies have featured in pop culture for quite a while now. You may not have realized that these flesh-eating monsters actually have a lot of basis in reality. We're taking you to the most bizarre reaches of the animal kingdom to present you with 5 zombies caught on camera and spotted in real life. The following parasites infect their hosts' brains, causing a boatload of delirious and creepy side effects. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Hymenoepimesis argyraphica versus spiders. This is one nasty wasp and reproduces by using a form of zombification. It's found in Costa Rica, which might lead travelers to avoid the ecotourism destination, although we can all rest easy knowing that it doesn't actually target or affect humans. In this case, its victim is a particular species of spider. This spider host is incredibly important to the wasp because it's used as a kind of forced labor in order to build a nest for the wasp's cocoon. The process begins when a wasp finds a suitable spider to prey on, and its science fiction-esque path continues from there. The wasp's next step is to sting the spider in order to paralyze it for a small amount of time. During this window, the wasp lays an egg on the abdomen of the host spider, which is secured in place. Once this egg hatches, it produces a larva that then begins to feast on the spider's blood as it goes about its day-to-day routine. After a
Thomas.
few weeks of
Yeah,
being
what's
on
up,
the
man?
spider, the larva then needs
So I'm
a
gonna
small
put my
spot to
game
go
on
into
rest mode,
cocoon.
bro. I'll
This
be
is
back
achieved by
maybe in a
injecting
few
a
minutes.
special
Alright, brother.
chemical
Hopefully
into the host
it's done.
spider, which
Hey,
then
Alright.
causes it to build
what I was
a
about to
very
tell you.
particular
Fucking shit, I
web.
forgot what I was
This
about to
new
tell you.
variety of web is much stronger and can therefore properly
You know
support
what
the
video you
wasp
should watch
larva
if you're on
cocoon
YouTube?
even during periods
What?
of intense wind and rain. The chemicals basically
You should
take
look
over
up,
the brain of the spider at this point, and once
oh,
it
what's the
builds
name
the
of the,
web nest, it
look
then
up,
moves to the very center and proceeds to stop moving altogether. The next step in this process
look up,
involves
actual
the spider
stories
devouring the
about,
spider's insides after injecting it with
about like the
poison.
internet,
Once
like
the spider is
stories like
sufficiently
that would
consumed
creep
in
you
this
out,
way,
like
the wasp
shit that you
larva
didn't
then
even know that
constructs its
people
cocoon,
like
hanging from the
hackers can
center
like,
of the newly
I
built
don't know,
spider
it's
web.
fucking
Once the
crazy
larva
if
is
you hear it,
developed a little
man.
further, it
Really?
To be
emerges as a
honest,
fresh
if
wasp.
fucking,
The entire process is how the larvae are
like
able to
basically people
immediately
can
take
hack
control
through
of the
your
spider's
Facebook and go
actions
through
with
your
the
phone
injection of a
and
simple
information
chemical.
from you.
Their
They can
altered state
they
is
can go to they
pretty
can hack to the
short.
thing you say that you
Natural
killed someone and lie
zombification
about
is
your record.
astounding and could all
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. It's fucking crazy, man. Just look it up, man. Crazy, deep, crazy webs. Like, I mean,
offer
there's a website
incredible
that I know
insights into the
some
workings of the
on
brain
Google.
and
I
how
forgot
it
what it was
affects
called,
behavior. There are also a
but
number of other wasps that
it's like a
manipulate their
website
hosts
where
to do their bidding,
people
each
get
specializing on
it's
a
a
particular
blackmail, or I don't know what
species.
it's
Not
called,
much
man. I
is known
forget what it
about
was
how these
called.
wasps
There's
evolved
a
to
website
elude
basically like a
The
black.
dark web?
but more research is constantly being
Yeah, it was like a
conducted.
dark web.
Number
Yeah, it was like
4,
fucking
jewel
like it
wasp
was
versus
one of those
Deep,
cockroaches.
deep
Number
in the
4
web.
on our
Yeah, deep in
countdown
the
is
web.
another wasp,
It's
also
really
known as
all.
the emerald cockroach wasp. This one is worthy of note because of the way it infects not
serial
spiders,
killers
but
are in there, man. You actually
cockroaches.
watch
Its
people
lair
getting
is
tortured and shit.
brightly
People actually
colored,
pay money
and
to watch
like
that shit
Are you
on
serious?
live
South
videos.
Africa
People,
lives a
yeah,
solitary
people sell their
existence,
organs when they
far
kill
from the
people from
normal
Mexico.
behavior we expect
They'll sell
most
kidneys and
wasps
all
to
that.
engage in. The jewel wasp is found in abundance in South Africa, Asia, and many islands
My
in the
thing looks
South
like it's
Pacific,
downloading now. I
especially
have
during warmer seasons. It's interesting to note that they were also
170
introduced to Hawaii
minutes.
in 1941
Alright,
to control
alright.
the roach population there, but the parasitic
Yeah, it looks
wasp
like it's
wasn't
downloading
able to
quick then.
combat them on
I'll just
such a
wait here
large
for a bit
scale.
then.
When a wasp finds a cockroach to use as a host, it injects a venom into very specific and precise areas of the roach's brain.
I got
The
YouTube
first
because I like
sting is
YouTube.
injected into
Yeah.
a thoracic ganglion to paralyze its victim in its front legs. This is followed up by a second, more potent sting.
Tell your
that is
if you
located
have
in the
Facebook, tell your
cockroach's
friends to
brain.
like
The
subscribe you on
second
Facebook
sting
too, man.
slows down the roach's
Or get like
reaction times
friends that
to
you like to
perceived
talk to all the
dangers
time.
and also causes it to groom itself repeatedly. This is potentially due to the fact that the venom blocks a specific neurotransmitter, although further study is needed to confirm the hypothesis and deduce exactly how it causes such behavior. Another behavior that's been observed is that the wasp then chews off a large portion of the roach's antenna, which is believed to either help the wasp regain energy or ensure that it injected the correct amount of venom into its
And then I was
host.
gonna look
One
it
of
up
these
again. Oh,
severed antennae
Skyrim.
are then used to direct the roach, much like a leash to the wasp's burrow. Once inside, the wasp lays an egg on the roach's abdomen. The infected roach then just sits there without concern for any apparent danger. After remaining in the burrow for another few days, the wasp larva then hatches and begins to use the roach as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The larvae even seem able
Yo, I got
to
both an exotic and the legendary.
Have you ever heard of that show, that movie called Warcraft? I think it's a
Yeah,
game too.
yeah, I haven't gotten into that stuff. I just get into.
and choose which organs they consume
You don't like
in order to
those?
keep
I
the
like
roach
that, man.
alive
To
as
be
long
honest,
as
I watched the
possible.
movie and I
Once
liked it.
thoroughly torn apart from the inside out, the roach's body then serves as a protective spot for the
Oh,
larva.
they'll
to
be back.
grow
Let me mute my mic real
Once
quick.
it's
I got a
fully
phone call.
grown, the wasp emerges from the cockroach's body to begin their lives that span for several months. Female jewel wasps are able to infect multiple roaches after mating, which only takes a few minutes at the most, though the male wasp will then claim that this has never happened to him and usually he can last much longer. The ability of these wasps to alter the behavior of these roaches makes them spreaders of yet another wasp-borne zombification process. Number 3. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis versus ants. Our third item moves away from parasitic wasps that use other creatures for manual labor, food, and incubation chain, affects its victims' brains and forces them to perform actions that are completely out of character in order to serve the host's purposes. This zombie-creating predator is actually a variety of fungus that was first discovered by a British naturalist by the name of Alfred Wallace back in 1859. Much like the wasps we spoke about earlier, these cordyceps fungi each focus on a specific species, with this particular entomopathogen preying on ants of the Campanati tribe, which includes carpenter ants along with several others. This fungus begins by releasing spores that attach to any ants unfortunate enough to cross their paths. This mechanism allows the cordyceps fungi to stop any one species from gaining too much control over their ecosystem, as the greater their numbers, the greater their chances of infection. The spores then begin to spread throughout the ant's body and begin to release compounds that directly affect the victim's behavior. Because of these chemical changes, ants that usually spend their time way up in tree canopies begin to make their way closer to the forest floor, where the environment is better suited to fungal growth. The fungi also causes intermittent seizures in the ants, which shake them loose from their higher perches and drops them toward the ground. From there, the ant climbs up the stem of a plant and affixes itself to the underside of a leaf. It's worth mentioning here that markings just like the ones these ants make when under their fungi invaders' control exactly match those found on a preserved leaf fossil dating back 48 million years old. This suggests that these fungi have been around for a very long time. Once locked onto its leaf, the ant slowly atrophies and wastes away, leaving a perfect meal for the fungus. Once it reproduces, it releases another cloud of spores that float on the breeze, waiting to infect new ants in the same way. Unlike parasitic wasps, this process is unseen and is a perfect example of a zombie virus in nature. The fungus also seems to be able to protect the infected ants from further microbial or fungal growths once they're possessed, which also serves to protect the fungus itself and maintain its life cycle. This might help with the fact that Ophiocordyceps unilateralis itself is susceptible to another hyperparasite that reduces its effectiveness and inhibits the release of spores. Number 2. Hairworm tactics. These parasitic worms are able to survive in extreme conditions. They need the correct environment to complete each step of a fairly elaborate life cycle, and this is a huge benefit. Hairworms are aquatic in their adult form, but many of their species require insects that are land-based to develop their eggs. For this to happen, adults must mate in water and then give birth to free-floating eggs. These eggs hatch to reveal a larva that must then burrow itself into a host in order to begin its next developmental stage. Once hatched, these larvae will bury themselves in anything from a snail to a mosquito in the hope that this creature is then eaten by their next host. Crickets are their regular victims, but they've been found in many other insects as well, including beetles. These larvae then develop into long, thin worms that completely take over their host. They're usually many times their host's length, and this is the stage where they start manipulating the behavior of their hosts by altering their brain chemistry, since the hairworm needs an aquatic environment to mate and produce in, it forces the insect it inhabits to search out a wet environment. If the worms simply broke out wherever the crickets happen to be, they could very easily dry out, which would mean the end of them. This process is not understood all that well, and scientists are still trying to figure out how they perform their manipulation. Luckily for them, the hairworm is able to survive freezing temperatures, which allows researchers to keep them on deck almost indefinitely. If they weren't quite so hardy, they would be much more difficult to study because they would be more difficult to breed in laboratory settings. This also means that they're able to remain dormant in their hosts for the same extended periods and continue to infect them after, say, a winter's hibernation, which makes them much stranger and more terrifying. Thankfully for us, this specific species of parasitic worms don't infect humans, so we won't have to worry about being driven to drown ourselves by a zombie virus just yet. Number 1. Euhaplorchus californiensis versus shorebirds, horn snails, and killifish. Our next parasite that modifies the behavior of its host in order to increase chances of survival and procreation is the parasite Euhaplorchus californiensis, which, much like hairworms, have a fairly complicated time making their way from one host vessel to the next. They begin their lives with the parasite's eggs being released in bird droppings. The hope for the parasites here is that the birds will defecate over the water, which puts the eggs in the path of aquatic horn snails. These snails serve as a perfect place for these parasites to grow up, and they also make the snails sterile, ensuring that their new home won't be disrupted by the snail's own reproductive tendencies. Once they've matured for a few generations and built themselves up into a tiny army, these parasites then swim out en masse and right into the gills of killifish, where they latch on and make their way up a special nerve toward the fish's brain. The parasite then forms a coating over the fish's brain that induces symptoms very much like seizures. They're also more prone to swimming closer to the surface. These jerky motions close to the surface make it easier for birds to eat these fish, where the parasite lays its eggs in the bird's stool, repeating the cycle. The ability for this parasite to take over the brains of infected fish, while simultaneously surviving through so many complicated steps involving multiple hosts, makes them a force to be reckoned with, where zombie-esque manipulation.
First little doggy was a white one. That little birdie was too. Second little doggy.
Leaving a career to follow a calling takes courage.
There were shoes and named Free Bird Dog.
A personalized financial strategy can give you confidence to take the next step.
Doggies off to see the world.
See how access to JP Morgan investment expertise can help you. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Of other creatures' brains is concerned. Freaky stuff, right? Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.
You there, bro?
Zone B lost.
The internet is filled with videos of creepy creatures, ghosts, animals, and more. It's all designed to give you the same amount of fear that you get while watching a horror movie, just on a smaller scale. Some of them are so ghastly you want to turn away from the screen before you even see the ending. Do you have a fear of spiders, snakes, or otherworldly creatures? Test your wits against these eerie images caught on film. Here are 5 scary videos we dare you to watch till the end. Let's begin. Number 5. Dad tries to capture spider in plastic bowl. This video features a father attempting to capture a huge huntsman spider while his young daughter watches. He explains his plan of action, which seems flawed from its inception, to climb up a ladder in his small kitchen and quickly trap the abnormally sized arachnid in what appears to be a large plastic storage bowl. As he ascends the ladder, he hesitates, and his daughter warns him to be careful. Does he catch the spider and become the hero of the household, or does he fail miserably and let the spider have his home? Watch till the end to find out.
Zone A lost. Zone B lost.
Number 4. The I Feel Fantastic video. The I Feel Fantastic video is one of the most unsettling videos ever released on the internet. The images induce pure terror in anyone watching. Very few people have been able to make it through the entire thing. The video is said to have originated from a serial killer that was known for sexually assaulting his female victims, and features a series of mannequins dressed in his victims' clothing, repeatedly saying the words, "I feel fantastic." Watch this one until the end, if you dare.
Seconds. You captured Zone C. You have advanced. Zone B lost. 10 seconds. You're defeated. Fight again. Persistence is key. Zones are your life, Guardian. Keep fighting. You'll get it.
Some things are a complete mystery to us when it comes to real and mysterious sightings that even movie editors can't create in their imagination, yet they exist in our world. As we thrive further into our existence, more footage comes to light, but many of it's still unexplained up to this day. We have compiled a list of our all-time best of creatures caught on camera type videos that you must see if you haven't already. Make sure you watch this video till the end, because you will be surprised by the unknown things that us humans have caught with our own eyes. Let's begin. Flying humanoid caught in Peru. This footage allegedly captures what appears to be a human-like being floating or flying above a city in Peru. The footage was captured by Cesar Rodriguez, a video producer in Puerto Maldonado. The footage was uploaded by Anthony Choi, a Peruvian-based ufologist and journalist, lending to its credibility. The strange figure appears to be wearing either a cape or perhaps robes as it floats above the city. There's yelling as spectators point to the figure in the sky above. After a few minutes, the figure flies off into the clouds and we lose sight of it. This is the only known footage of the sighting. Flying creature in Pennsylvania. This video captures what appears to be a reptilian flying creature in the skies of Pennsylvania. The creature, which appears to be a dragon or as some have suggested a pterodactyl, flies near the heavy gray clouds in an overcast day. While the creature easily blends into the skyline, we can make out some features. Its wings are large and pointed. It has a small, round body and a long, slender tail that trails out behind it. This is the only known video of this sighting, and perhaps due to the unfavorable, dark, windy conditions, the only sighting of the creature on this day. Floating girl in forest. This video, captured by a Russian man, shows what appears to be a little girl floating over her parent. The man discovers the pair as he walks his dog through the woods. As he chases the dog, he finds the daughter and guardian. The girl seems to float at twice the height of the adult, leaning forward as if she's practicing how to fly. The man records the two, but the little girl realizes he's there. He tries to hide, and the two begin to flee. Just what was it that the man found out in the woods? Aliens? Witches? Superhumans? There's no knowing. Flying humanoid in Turkey. This CCTV captured in Turkey shows a strange, small humanoid figure walking up and down an empty street at night. At first, the creature might be mistaken for a child due to its small stature and humanoid silhouette, though upon closer inspection, it appears as if it may be even smaller than a child, perhaps even the size of a newborn or a small animal. Then, effortlessly, it takes a step off the ground and floats into the air. It flies off screen for a few seconds and then returns to the ground below, walking across the street. What could the origin of this strange creature be? Could it be a ghost, fairy, or perhaps a jinn of Islamic folklore? In a country as old as Turkey, anything is possible. Dragon caught flying over mountains in China. Dragons have always had a special place in the history and mythology of China. Long, serpent-like dragons are often the subjects of art, films, and represented in celebrations. Dragon bones or fossils are used in homeopathic remedies. Some believe that dragons may have actually been dinosaurs that were able to escape extinction, and that perhaps those reptilian animals responsible for legends of dragons might even be alive today. It's no surprise that China's the subject of many reported dragon sightings, but this sighting may surprise you. In this footage captured by a Chinese man, the dragon appears incredibly Western with its reptilian wings, short body, and hind legs. The creature appears to fly effortlessly over the mountains below. The area appears remote, so this may be the only footage of such a sighting. Skinwalker. Historically, skinwalkers were a sacred part of Navajo lore. Skinwalkers were believed to be powerful witches who could transform into animals and people. Some people believe that the Wendigo, a Canadian cryptid and creature of lore, may be one famous example of a skinwalker that transcends cultural boundaries due to its strange human yet animal-like appearance. With the age of the internet, other reports of skinwalkers have been made. Skinwalkers are believed to want to harm people and will steal the appearance of campers or hikers in order to get into their group. These photos captured by the Reddit user Kinky Pisha may be the only physical evidence of these strange monsters. Zashiki Warashi Yokai. Yokai are the demons of Japanese folklore. Yokai in Japanese means bewitching, attractive, calamity, specter, apparition, mystery, and suspicious. While you may be familiar with the concept of yokai from the video game Yokai Watch, yokai have traditionally been much more terrifying and troublesome in Japanese folklore. Yokai began as early animist spirits in Japanese culture, which were believed to be responsible for a number of minor nuisances or accidents. Yokai are often considered to be ghost-like spirits with the intent of scaring or harming their victims. One such yokai, Zashiki Warashi, is a childlike spirit that haunts homes. Zashiki Warashi is said to inhabit every house and frightens or annoys its inhabitants by running through the house at night, making noise or moving objects. This video may capture this spirit.
They just took the lead.
Sea serpent in Alaska. Fear of the water and the monsters that may dwell within it is a cultural universal that transcends time. We may fear sharks or jellyfish now, but it was sea serpents that our
3
ancestors feared.
minutes.
They
It's
told
close.
tales of giant snake-like dragons capable of killing people, destroying ships, or even totaling entire towns. While today we believe that any number of possible creatures might be responsible for the sea serpent myth, including oarfish, sperm whales, or sharks, possible that sea serpents, as they were believed to have existed, actually may have? Sightings of sea serpents have continued to this day, and some claim to have evidence of these monsters. This video, captured by the United States Bureau of Land Management, captures what seems to be one large serpent in the icy waters of Alaska. Kraken spotted off Antarctica in Google Maps. The Kraken is a giant sea monster of Norwegian lore that has become one of the most prominent mythical figures thanks to appearances in films such as Clash of the Titans and Pirates of the Caribbean. The Kraken is said to be a giant-sized cryptid with the size and power to destroy or even swallow entire ships. In recent years, scientists have believed that rare and elusive giant squid may be responsible for the myth of the Kraken due to their immense size, believed to be as big as 15 or even 20 meters. While it's simple to assume that ancient fishermen who spent their entire lives near or on the sea were so naive as to confuse